Welcome to the Slow Home Studio. In today's episode, we're going to talk about how to correctly detail your window and door heights.
This is a real pet peeve of mine. When you go into a room and the tops of the windows are at two different heights, like this one right here, it just
Why does that happen?
Well, part of it is because people design a house in elevation. They look at the front elevation and they draw those windows, and they look at the side elevation, and it's not until you get inside that you see that this window's down here and this window's up here. It's like vertigo. It's just so sloppy. It's really bad.
It is crazy.
It's also easy to avoid.
It is easy to avoid. The trick is you have to set a standard ordinance height for all of your doors and windows, and it's the height, basically, it's the distance from the ceiling to the floor, and then the distance from the header to the ceiling has to be consistent. You have to make sure that when you align your windows that it works around the corner. And in this case, in this bedroom, there's a window on the front and a window on the side, and those have to be set at exactly the same head height. And it's the head height that registers it being off. It's not the sill height, the head height.
No, that can go up and down. No, that's right. And typically that's either 6'8" or 8 feet in order to be able to match with the inside doors, which is also another ordinance that you want to try to match up to.
Yep. And this becomes more tricky when you add a door because doors, of course, have a different set of dimensions than a window. Windows in their header are thinner than a door. A door jamb is thicker. You have to make sure you align them. You want that piece of trim that connects over the door and the window to be on the same plane, and you don't want it to jog up or down.
And then it gets even more difficult when you start dealing with these nano wall systems, the kind of movable wall systems, because they actually have an additional piece of trim there that just is there to throw everybody else off. So this is actually the height of the door, and typically what that would do is that you would say, well, then let's match the height of the window to that, and those would be off. By that, it's about a 2-inch gap there. So you really have to be careful. You have to look at the specs of the systems that you're using in order to get things right.
Yeah, and it's really, really important in every room of the house. And this is a really good example because here in the dining room, we have windows set at a height. And if you just follow that line across, you'll notice that the kitchen window is also set at that height. It's a visual thing that you see when you're in the room, even though there's a piece of cabinetry that interrupts it and they're not next to each other. Your eye reads that as being the same height.
So remember, getting the window heights right is a really critical part of a good designed house.
See you next time. Bye.